Good morning, everybody. Um, Welcome to this special edition of the Let's Talk LinkedIn. It should have been a Dutch version, but we're in Birmingham. We just came from Uplift Live, so we're making it a Dutch version. Guy, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, and let's switch the camera a bit because who's there? Where are you, Mick?
I'm in
Yeah,
the lobby actually. So, um, and I hope you can hear me now because I'm not sure that you can hear me.
I can hear you loud and clear, but I'm
Okay,
just going
all
to
right.
put myself in another position
All
because
right, good,
it's a bit of
good,
an
good, good,
echo here.
good, good. Right. So it's always interesting to do these sessions from we're currently in our hotel, and there's a bunch of other people here with us. So interesting day yesterday, and I'm waiting for Guy to settle down. He's looking for the right place to do this.
No, I'm
And,
just getting a coffee. I mean, it's too
all right.
early, Mick.
Yes, it is. It is too early. So, I guess I'll get you started, Guy. What do you think of the conference yesterday?
It was well a great success, second edition, uh,
Okay.
and I just switch off my camera because it's audio. So
Uh-oh.
let's keep it audio.
I can't hear Guy, and unless I put my mic on, and then we have.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. No,
So
Mick,
I have a little. I'll have a bit of an echo, but that's not a problem on my side. Right.
it was a great event again, second edition. I just booked my ticket for next year, so that's basically what I thought about. Well, what I think about Uplift Live. Um, so it's second edition. We had fab speakers. Jeremy is just joining here. Morning,
Yes.
Jeremy. It's audio. It's audio. So and well, the others are having their breakfast. I see Barbara and Anneke on your side. No, it was a great event, and I just mentioned I booked my ticket for next year, Jeremy.
Yeah.
So 30 tickets or so sold, and I think tonight 11:55 p.m. for your early bird ticket.
Well, the good news is I did the same thing last night when I came back to the hotel. I think
So Team
if
Benelux
the
will be active again next year.
yeah, the thing was when I after yesterday's session again, I was amazed about the level of speakers that were on the podium, and I said, well, I'm gonna come back, and so why postpone till tomorrow? What what I could do immediately. So I booked my ticket for this year or for next year this year.
Good, good.
Hello, Jeremy. How are you today? Like I said, it's a bit of a special edition today. So let's talk a little bit about what we heard yesterday. Um,
Mm.
I'm not sure how we want to do this. I didn't really prepare much for in terms of today. All my preparation was in my post of today, where I tried to capture what people said. But what, in your opinion, stood out, and who stood out for you?
Well, it's the same, I think, with every event. Some of the speakers are more of your cup of tea. If you don't do anything with ads, AJ Wilcox talked about ads, then perhaps that's not your cup of tea. But on the other hand, I think every single speaker had a great contribution about, well, like I said, advertisements campaigns. We talked about employee advocacy. We talked about conversion. We talked about
Mhm,
persistence. We
mhm,
talked about a lot of interesting stuff. The most interesting, well, two things. Um, Juma from Trinidad and Tobago talked
yeah.
about video, but
Yes.
when everybody is saying we have to make short format video, he told us make longer videos because it takes time to engage. It takes time to build up credibility, to build trust.
Mhm.
So he had a very good framework of building up
Yep.
your video with hooks and well,
Mhm.
getting people to watch the video until the end. Um, yeah,
I think for
we
me,
can
that
talk the
one of
topic.
the surprising things is the contradiction between let's make short video and make and more video but shorter video, and then somebody coming out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, by the way, this is probably not the right thing to do, and you need to make longer video," which was it was a refreshing point of view, and I saw that from a lot of the speakers actually yesterday.
Yeah, and same with John Esperian, one of the organizers.
Yep.
Um, about where do you put the three dots? Where do you put the read more button?
Yep.
Is it after
Yep.
the first line, the second line, the third line? Play around. And if you really want to catch the attention, just
Mhm.
have two white spaces and then you only have the first, well, what was it, about 40 characters?
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
that was interesting. Um, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, Sam Ratlin had a very personal story, and well,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
generation Gen Z, Gen Z.
Yep. True.
Fascinating how a young guy, 18 years old, is getting his stage. When I was 18, I was looking at very, very different things. I wasn't
True. Yeah.
thinking about networking. I was having my my fun and played around. So
Yeah. No, but I think this is also the times are changing, and we had it briefly yesterday after the at the group dinner last night. We talked briefly about it for next year. The generation Z is stepping into the work floor using different kinds of platforms, different formats, and different ways. So it would be an interesting thing to see how this Gen Z changes again the face of LinkedIn, because over the course of the years, and we've been around the block a few times over the course of the years, LinkedIn has changed face a number of times, and with the additional generations that join the platform. And I think with Gen Z, we might actually see even more changes. And I'm really interested to figure out or to see how they are actually going to change. And I thought what Sam did yesterday was really very very strong and set in the sense that she kind of like handed the baton over to her son,
yeah,
who's so much who's a Generation Z person. So it was kind of an interesting way to get that generation onto these type of platforms and contribute
yeah. I'm just going to
strongly.
plug out my mic, my microphone, not you, Mick. Just say
Okay.
hi, John, and
Oh, there he is.
First,
Good morning. I hope your breakfast was
really
good, John.
in Uplift Live. We're just celebrating the morning after the night before. It was a really great event. So thanks everyone who came along, live stream and in person. Really appreciate it.
so hope you could hear that, Mick, with the
Yes, I did.
background
Yes.
noise of the Aloft Hotel. Just putting in my microphone again.
Yeah.
My ears. Yeah. So here we are.
So, yeah. Now
What
we're back
what
to
was the biggest
our
what was the
go
biggest
ahead.
surprise to you, Mick?
Well, actually, the person I thought who was going to surprise me the least actually surprised me the most.
Hmm.
The person that actually surprised me the most was Michelle J.
Jay
Raymond,
Raymond.
which I thought she couldn't surprise me, but when she talked about company pages, she threw something at the audience, and I don't know if everybody got hit in the face that hard as I did, but she kind of re-engineered the whole ambassadorship and employee advocacy concept um, from the company page, and it all makes sense. It's so logical, that we've probably never taken a look at it, but it was so obvious, and it was so how would I say it? It was surprising, refreshing, and innovating. That's all the credit goes to Michelle actually, and it was a great presentation she gave about company pages.
Absolutely. So, are you going to use pages more after this presentation?
I've already started.
Well, on you, Mick. So what was the big surprise?
Well, the big surprise is that when you look at employee advocacy or even ambassadorship for your employees, what we often think about is, there's content on the company page that employees support. And what Michelle kind of like put forward is, why not support your employees through your company page with comments, likes, and whatever have you, and actually use your company page in the same manner as what you use a personal profile. And it makes sense for me because we all know that commenting is the new posting. So, I mean, from my point of view, why aren't we doing this more from a company page, and give company pages more visibility by engaging on employees and obviously other people? But it's turning the employee advocacy program completely around. And I mean, I have a lot of gears going in my head at this moment on how to turn this into a plus for companies.
Well, this is exactly my topic of my presentation in June in Utrecht, the Netherlands. Who's responsible for your company page?
Yeah. The funny thing is, Guy, I have a training next week that is about employee advocacy and how to turn your employees into ambassadors. And I had my presentation ready. I made it on the train coming here. Um, Actually, I'll have to revise my whole presentation on the train going back because I got so many great ideas on on things to do differently that it was just it was literally for me it was a heart stopper moment after the presentation of Michelle. It just really was so intense, and like I said, I thought she couldn't surprise me. She did.
Wonderful. What did you take? What did you take away from the presentation of Ivana Brutunic, who talked about employee
Yeah,
advocacy?
the presentation from Ivana was, in my point, was complementary to the one from Michelle a bit. They kind of played into each other because Ivana talked about employee advocacy. I think she focused on something that a lot of companies struggled with, which is getting employee advocacy or starting a program, and every company wants to do it with too many people in the beginning, and that's why it kind of fails, because you bring in too many people in what I would call a pilot, and her pilot was obviously smaller than what we normally see. But the way that she addressed the whole pilot thing and how to get started, that was also a very strong message before you actually go full speed and buy a program for employee advocacy, which I think at the end of the day um, is what a lot of companies do. And
Yeah,
you,
yeah. Same here. And I see Lanier Johnson is also in the room. Hi, Lanier.
good
I'm
afternoon,
not
Linaire,
sure if
or good evening, I should say.
you had your online tickets. So did Jeff Young. So it was great to see. Well, even we didn't see each other in person, to see so many people gather for this event.
30 seconden. 30 seconden. Yeah, like I said, good evening. Somebody was talking to me here at the moment, so but that's not a problem. We were looking. Yeah, nice to have you on the call in there. It would have been nice to have you face to face. You know what? We'll try and tell John to invite you next year. That way we get to see you. I think that's a devilish plan that we Team Benelux have, is to suggest some names. And I think you should be on that list for next year.
Yeah,
We also
linear
have
study
Elizabeth
popped up
from
last year as
Vienna
well.
on the call.
We have a call from Vienna. Sorry.
Yeah, Elizabeth Miller from Vienna is Austria is also on the call and listening to our little chat this morning.
Wonderful.
So, and the people, of course, from Team Benelux are also joining us in this call this morning too. So they also contributed to a very fabulous experience that we had. Um,
What do you think, Mick, of John? John mentioned it. His rhyme and alliteration.
yeah, I think the I call them the trickery things in my post today. Um, the visual component of the visual presence of your post is important. Um, and some will master it better than others. I mean, I'm very bad at creating, the waterfalls and the cascades or the pyramids.
Pyramids. Yeah.
There are people who do this very well. I try once in a while, but it's for me it's very hard. I'm probably not the wordsmith, to use Andy Foot's expression, that I should be to create those things. But have you used some of those tricks that John
No,
mentioned, like the
no,
the the pyramids, the waterfalls, and so on?
I never did, but I'll give it a go. And we all know you have to try before you know it or how it works or if it is a good fit. I mean, what Gus, for example, did with his tracks and music and fun and have the surprise element, building up a group of super fans. Um, he started off strong. I mean, what's your legacy after you are no longer here? After you're gone, after you're dead, um, are you building or writing content just for the sake of writing content, or are you really making any impact? Um,
Yeah, that was a strong statement. Is are you here for the? Will people remember you? That's basically what he was asking.
yeah, and build your own language, like John mentioned. Hey,
Yep,
his dush kanush, or
yep.
what
The
words is he
pineapple.
using? Pineapple. Yeah. Uh, I when you mention pineapple, a lot of people, I guess, won't know what we're talking about. But John mentioned a secret word in his about section, which is
Yeah.
pineapple. Don't tell anyone, so it's no longer secret. But it was a very good hook to
Well,
investigate if people really read your profile. Because what do you do, Mick, when you get an invitation? Do do you
well,
go over someone's profile completely?
Well, yeah, obviously, one of the things that should be standard if you receive an invitation is go and check out the profile just to make sure that it's a person and it's a somebody that you can kind of trust. Um, but looking for like secret words or signs, obviously, it really makes or it really gives you the sign that the person has read your profile, because how often do you get a message saying, I read your profile and I would like to sell you some LinkedIn services? That I said, well, I guess that's a contradiction, because if you read my profile, you probably realize that I'm, and you are too, Guy, that we are both in the world of LinkedIn, and we provide services on LinkedIn. So you don't take that seriously anymore. But if you hide, I think it's taking it, maybe for me, it's taking it a step too far.
You mean the secret words?
Yeah, the use of secret words, it
Yeah.
takes, for me, it takes it a little too far. Um, I mean,
But on the other hand, Mick, it does show that we have a lack of interest and that we grow not for the numbers, but by the numbers perhaps. We grow
mhm,
our network with new connections, new people,
yeah.
but we forget to really build relationships. Um, and
True.
I'm not sure what Gen Z is going to do with that,
Yeah.
because if on the other platforms it's all about followers and
Mhm.
those number count, where's the in-depth relationship you could build with someone?
Mhm. Mhm. The other thing that kind of astonished me, and I think this was Niraj who talked about that, was before you connect with somebody, engage on their content, then engage and invite, engage again, and then as the fourth touch point with that client, he mentioned voice and video messages, and so actually did Sam. So it was interesting, especially, and I talked to Neeraj offline about this because I recently did a poll about the message that people the least happy about receiving on LinkedIn, and that was a voice message. And I actually have a lot of people in my training who push back on voice messages. How do you stand on voice and video messages?
I'm all in favor, personally, but I also believe that, well, I'm a minority. When talking about Gen Z again, I don't believe they will pick up the phone or they will send out a voice message. Let's let's forget the video, but it's such a
Mhm.
strong, powerful tool to use. And I remember in the old days, Mick, with Clubhouse, uh,
Mhm.
because of hearing someone's voice, we really got connected.
Yep.
You can put so much more emotion or intention or context when speaking uh,
Mhm.
than when writing. So to me, voice message is a very strong and powerful tool to use. Uh,
It,
but then
it,
again,
it,
go ahead, Mick.
it is, and I'm a very big fan of voice and video messages, as you probably know, because you're sometimes the victim of my enthusiasm of them. But it's strange how a lot of salespeople react very negatively to this, and not
It's
only
not strange.
salespeople but people in general, because the reason, or the main reason they give me, is that you can't listen to them on the moment, because you might be in
Mhm.
an office, you might be on the train, you might be somewhere traveling in the car, whatever, and you don't know what the message is about, because there is no like header saying, this is about profile review or something like that. So there are some valid reasons why people push back, but I still am a very big fan of it.
I don't think there are valid reasons, Mick. LinkedIn is slow cooking, slow food, and
Yeah,
it's
true,
all
true,
about
true.
your communication style. And
Yeah,
you mentioned,
personally, I've decided that I will go a little slower, or a little, I will wait a little longer till I know the person better to start using voice and video messages. I think you have to get to know the person on the other side to understand, would they be open to listen to your message? Would they be open to look at your video message before you actually send them and surprise them with one?
I think that would be a pity, Mick. Take your own stand and send out voice messages if you prefer to send out voice messages.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
I'm not. When talking about these communication styles, if you really are, well, a salesperson, um, very result driven, fast thinking, you have to close the deal today, then
Hmm.
perhaps voice messaging and the slow pace of LinkedIn is not your cup of tea. But
Yeah, true.
so always imagine the other side, how they like to communicate. Well, you don't know the person in the beginning, of course.
True.
So introduce yourself with
Yeah.
a voice or video message, so people can have an image, a real image of you, or a real sound of how you well, what kind of
Hmm.
person you are, and with that also your intentions. I think
Hmm.
with voice and video you can add so much more
True.
personality to your message. And if you're not a match, you're not a match. We don't
Hmm.
have to serve
Yeah.
the whole world, right?
True. 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 It's all about focus. It's not about volume. I mean, when I heard, I don't know whose presentation it was, that I send out 1,000, a thousand, or yeah, was it 1,000? No, it was more than, no. I send out 200 connection requests per week. Is like, oh Jesus, that's playing a numbers game. That's not my style. That's not the way I want to do business, I guess.
No, that was Sam Rattling, but it does work for certain group of companies and
Mm,
sizes. So if you follow your own strategy and stick to that, I
yeah.
guess you will get the results you're looking for. Uh,
Yep.
but have a strategy, have a clear mission and focus on what you're trying
Mhm.
to do with LinkedIn. Don't go for vanity metrics and chase numbers if that's
Yep.
not working for you. Like Nigel
Mhm.
Cliff mentioned last year
Mhm.
when he was a speaker, you can handle only a certain amount of clients.
Yep.
You can't handle 1,000 people if you are a solopreneur, for example.
Mhm. That
So
is true.
match your activity, your strength, and the
Yep.
results you're looking for.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
What was?
finally, Mick, nothing that really blew my mind. But it's always about being conscious of the possibilities, being
Mhm.
aware of how you work
Right.
with certain clients
Yeah.
yourself,
Mhm.
and most of all, Mick,
Go ahead.
it's being with you guys, meeting all these friendly people here in
Yep.
Birmingham from all over the world. That makes it worthwhile.
I think when I look at this event, and this is why I came last year initially, is because there were a bunch of people that I always wanted to meet in person. And I came for mainly that reason last year. And obviously, some of the speakers were, or all of the speakers were good. The same. I got the same vibe this year when I came to this conference, is that the networking is such a high quality networking. It's so much camaraderie that we have with all these people that you see on a regular or somewhat less regular basis appear on the platform. And the amount of networking and time for networking that is being given from the pre-party, which is kind of like the day before, where you get to meet a bunch of people, and the amount of time that you have during the different sessions. I think the format of this conference is possibly for people that are into LinkedIn, diehards, whether they're client on the client side or trainer side, um, is the perfect formula.
I agree. I agree. And well, Jeremy asked us what would be the result if we would organize this in the Benelux or in
Yeah.
another place outside of Birmingham. And I think it will be an equal success. The time that you mentioned for networking, in-person
Mm.
meetings,
Yep.
and don't you have this that when you're looking at a movie and they have a sequence, so part two,
Hmm.
most
Yep.
of the time it's a bit less of quality, but for this
Yep.
it was equal. It matched last year and even topped last year because, of course, we have different speakers, but also because your in-depth relationship with the people you met last year
Yep.
grew again this year.
Yep.
So I'm up for round three, Mick.
Yep, I'm up for round three too. So I've already signed up. So as we said in the beginning, we'll be back. And hopefully next year there's going to be even more people that can join our team Benelux, and it'll be more fun.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All
So
right, with that, it's about 9:30. We have about a minute to go. Any last thought before we end this special edition of our Let's Talk LinkedIn session?
it's always a big, you have to digest all the information you received
Yeah.
previously, which we'll do on our way back. You will take the
Hmm.
train downwards, towards the channel. I will
Yep.
go by airplane back to Amsterdam. Um, We'll meet again next week, Mick, online again.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
we'll continue with these audio sessions
Yeah.
to inform everyone and to discuss LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Are we allowed
Well,
to say LinkedIn, or should we use another word?
no, we're allowed to say LinkedIn. I mean, that's not what they're gonna uh, get after us. At least now we kind of follow the rules that we had in the past, and or that we know that we should be sticking to. So we're not going to get in trouble again. And I'm sure LinkedIn will be more, uh, or better in trying to get to us and telling us what we can and cannot do. So, but
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned, I'm off to take the train. But as you know, I'm making one extra stop. So the networking didn't stop today, yesterday. The networking continues through the day. And we'll be talking to each other next week, and we'll do that in Dutch so that the 100th edition of our talk will be in English in 2 weeks' time.
wonderful, Mick. Have a great journey back home, and speak soon. And everyone in the room, from here, from elsewhere, have a great weekend, and see you. Speak soon.
All right, have a great one, everybody, and thanks for